special day. This is a very special time. Show me a hill I can climb. Give me a mountain to move, and I'll prove that it's a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. Up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
Special day. It's a finely fantastic, maybe just a little freaky Friday, or should I say Fry-yay. That means my partner in crime, my co-host this morning, is Holly Thompson from Salem Crossing. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Fry-yay.
Yay. In our hot seat this morning, we have from her own cast, many hats she wears, and we have our own Cassie Corp with us. Good morning, Cassie.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
You've been
It has been a minute.
You've been busy.
Busy, always.
It's always hard to get Cassie. Yeah, Cassie.
Yeah. But thanks for having me this morning. I'm super excited.
Me too. All right, and Holly, let's thank our sponsors this morning.
We would like to thank Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Americans for Prosperity, Teas and Tumblers, Fox Pearly Wealth Management, Po' Boys Barbecue, and Leader One Financial. Thanks, sponsors.
Yay! Thank you to our great sponsors. Very, very happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
We're moving right along here, guys, because surprise, everybody else like shocked that we're already in August. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my gosh, it's awful.
The weather's been feeling like September, so I've been kind of digging it.
I know.
like it
it's
right
like
now.
a little...
It did get cold, didn't it?
Yeah,
it's weird.
It did, though. Yeah. And I love a good sweater.
I know, right?
Can I
I did almost grab a sweatshirt this morning.
Yeah, can I go out in public and not be looked at weird? You know what I mean?
Because trust me, I'm not ready for the next, I'm not ready for winter at all.
Mm-mm.
But I love the temperatures we've been having.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Everybody has jumped to October, though. Like Halloween, like everybody's like already just ready to jump.
Oh
right
yeah,
in.
I saw a severed head the other day.
It's crazy
I've
that
seen skeletons. I know. Yeah. I've seen ghost people.
Ghost people. It's crazy though that you're still seeing like 4th of July, Labor Day type celebrations out there, and right next to it's Halloween.
I
and
know.
It's insanity.
I know. And there's people like already like if you I love TikTok. I know. It's like oh.
Me too.
Anyway, that's already like decorating.
Oh yeah, it's spooky season basically.
Yeah.
It's the end of the year basically.
If Brad Gilbert's listening, which he does often, I always tell him because he wants his pool to stay open, like he could get November or whatever. I always tell him summers, it's over. Because I stop that. It's not over. It's not over. You know what I mean?
It's not over yet.
No. All right, we're on to the 4th day of August. Today is Assistant Dog Day. We just talked about that. How great to have the dogs and what they do, like the trained dogs, and if you've ever seen like in police how awesome those dogs are, if you've seen like service dogs for people, I'm so amazed at them and what they can do.
Well, and the emotional support dogs too.
Oh yeah.
Like one of the dog that I have is a German Shepherd. Her brother's a canine for a county close by, but she is scared of everything. Like you use the ice machine and she's scared. She hates guns, fireworks, like thunderstorms. she's a scaredy cat dog, but she's great emotional support for the family.
Oh,
you know what I
definitely.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
she's a very loving dog.
Right.
Animals can be very supportive of us, and the service that they do for people who have, you know, disabilities or whatever,
Oh,
that they
like
can help with
seizures,
them.
like
Yes.
they can, you know,
Oh, so important. Yeah.
That's just-
Yes.
So I'm so amazed at that. That one just will still always just blow my mind.
Yes.
That they can, you know.
Absolutely. Or some for diabetes, if your
Yeah.
sugar gets too high or too
Yeah.
low.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's funny that she's like that, and then her brother's out there, you know,
I
saving
know,
lives,
right?
doing all. I mean, kicking
I
it. You know what
tell
mean?
her that all the time.
Yeah, your brother's like a
It's
hero.
in your genes, man.
Like, Lucy, your brother's saving lives. What are you doing here?
You got hero and then zero. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. I won't call Lucy a zero. Sorry.
Poor thing.
I
hurt her
know.
feelings.
No, I'm gonna get her down there. I gotta get her a toy, don't I? Now. I owe her a toy. Sorry. All right. This is also happy or hooray for Kids Day! Yay!
Yay, we love kids.
Yay.
We love children. Absolutely, love that. Love that. International Beer Day. I don't know how the two come together. but
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
it's because, you know, after getting started with the first day
Day
of school
school,
and all
uh-huh.
the struggles getting there, you know, maybe somebody just
You
needs
might
to wind
need a
down
drink.
a little bit.
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Ooh, now I can do this. National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yes.
Yes, like
That
fresh
sounds
out of the
wonderful.
oven.
Fresh
Oh, that's
out of
the
the oven.
best.
I like them warm, yes.
The best.
Oh,
That's a good day.
It
That
is a
is.
good day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat a cookie.
Ooh, think about like them getting off the school bus and you just making like.
And a cold glass of milk.
Milk.
like
I
a
chose
think you're
cold
dreaming
as
about
you
my
get.
domesticity a little bit. But
Yeah.
yes, I would eat a cookie that maybe Steve made for me.
There we go.
That sounds right.
I love that. And there we go. I guess back to the kids are gone. National White Wine Day.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Well, that's closer.
I see a pattern going on here. Single Working Women's Day. Hats off to all the single
Yes,
working women out
absolutely.
there. You get
Big
it, girl.
fan. Yes.
Absolutely, yes. Get it, girls. U.S. Coast Guard. I love the Coast Guard and
Mhm.
what they do. And you talk about, you know, jumping in the water or going, you know, and doing all that they do, and you know, never knowing if there's a shark or whale.
Yeah.
Or an octopus. I had Big Shark Week. so it's also
Yeah, I think we ought to be scared of the octopuses maybe more
See?
than the sharks. Those
Thank you,
octopuses
Cass.
are too smart. I don't know.
Well, you must have watched Shark Week. With all that happening over
I
there.
didn't, but they're scary.
They are.
I'm nervous
Well,
about the octopuses.
You should.
Octopi.
I love that because because on Shark Week actually one grabbed a shark and like
Yeah, man.
all those hands or fingers or
That's it too.
tentacles,
All the tentacles and
I
all
know.
the.
wrapped it around that
Oh.
shark and took him down.
I think if they had bones and they could come on land, we'd be
In trouble.
in trouble.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying about the octopi.
Great. That is, I love that. I love where you just went with the octopus. I might just be a little bit really excited about you. I get a lot of conversations. If I go to talk about it, I can tell the subject gets changed.
Oh, listen, I'm a big nerd. Anything nerdy, I'm your girl.
Yeah, but I do think, I think a lot of times, you know, the sharks get the bad rap, but I think the octopuses. Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm
So
telling you.
so we have Sharknado. Maybe we'll have Octopus Nado.
Sounds so terrible.
Yeah, I know.
I would watch it.
I know, I would too. I'd be the person too. Pop the popcorn, we're going in.
Absolutely, yeah.
But also with the Coast Guard, not only
Oh,
the
yeah,
animals you
yeah.
have to deal with, but like during hurricanes and bad
Oh,
storms,
yeah.
and
Mhm.
I mean they put their lives
So
in
much
danger.
rescue,
So
yeah.
much rescue.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yep. It is crazy, scary.
Yeah,
so thank you to the
Yes,
Coast
thank
Guard.
you.
Right, for sure. All right, let's jump in, ladies. So get out and celebrate. Let's see here. Let's see. We'll have some races coming up next weekend. I do have some like Bristol, right? I think is coming up, and I've got some tickets for that. So just check my social media, and I should be giving some ticket giveaways. So look for that. That'll be exciting. All right. Let's jump in. We had I think I think it was kind of staggered. Some of the schools, like in the area, you know, some started Monday, some started Tuesday, some started Wednesday. So I think everybody's actually in school now, right? Pretty well in our listening
I think
area.
West Washington's got a little bit of time still. I think they
Oh.
might start next week.
Because I think didn't East Washington and Salem start Thursday?
Yeah.
Didn't they start?
But West
yesterday?
Washington's got a little bit of time.
Oh, they're not. They're not
Not
starting.
quite, yeah. They're a little
Okay.
bit off of our normal county schedule this year, which that's fine. I'm a little jealous.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because me growing up, it was normal to start after Labor Day.
Oh.
Me too.
Yeah.
After Labor
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah.
Like
Me
Labor
too.
Day's the end of summer, you start
Uh-huh.
school after summer ends. Like
Yep.
that was normal.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm with
They,
you.
to me, they
I
they
get
start
so
way too early.
sad when August gets here.
Well, and I always felt that way too, because usually like when we would go to school,
Mhm.
you would be like, that would almost kind of start, you kind of go into fall.
Yeah.
And you kind of wear more
But now it's
clothing.
hot.
Yeah, now you're
We
wearing
got
summer
shorts for
clothes.
back to school, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's worked out well as far as like shopping, because I
Yeah.
do like school shop, back to school shopping used to be like jeans and sweatshirts and
Mhm.
sweaters,
Mhm.
and now it's like shorts.
Yeah, that's
where
true.
you can hit those sales, those summer sales.
Hopefully so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yard sales, whatever
Yeah,
you need to do.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
These kids are expensive, man.
Oh, they are.
Clothes are expensive.
They are. They are. But no, I think we are all back to school except West Washington. So
Okay,
enjoy
well.
your last little bit of
Last
freedom
hurrah.
in Campbellsburg.
Yeah.
We're coming for you.
That's right. This is true. I do have one more thing to tell, because this is just so bizarre. And now that we're kind of talking about Halloween and stuff, it's been so hot. Everybody's talked about the ocean's almost like hot, like a hot tub. They've been talking about all the hot. Well, it's been so hot now that watermelons are exploding and actually deadly, dangerous.
No.
I know.
I love watermelon.
I know. I'm thinking Jackson County, look out, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, those watermelons, but it looks like
Like
it's
a
been
minefield.
such a hot summer. It says the heat can cause the fruit inside to kind of ferment, and if that happens,
gross.
you'll see a frothy foam bubbling out of the watermelon. It's complicated, but basically it's a combination of bacteria, the fruit's natural sugars, and above average temperatures, both where they grow and where they're being stored. So it may sound like a watermelon could be a fun thing like that, you kind of becoming alcohol, but it's actually very dangerous and should never be eaten. Oh, this is almost like a public service announcement.
See, I was thinking it was watermelon wine.
Yeah, no, it says
I don't
do
think
not
you should eat it.
Yeah. The watermelon it's very toxic, and it has E. coli, and if enough gas is produced in the process, it can cause the watermelon to explode. To avoid the risk of this, experts say you can keep watermelons in the fridge once you bring them home. So a little bit of a. I'm glad that we're telling that, because just like if you see, note to self, if you see a foaming watermelon,
Don't eat it.
Don't eat it. No.
It
Walk
can't
away.
smell good. It has to be gross.
Oh well,
It
like
has to be
I think I've
nasty.
seen them kind of like that. Like not.
It would probably remind me of an Aliens movie where you slice the watermelon in half and it just starts oozing.
Oh, gross.
Like the goo coming out.
Yeah, that may be like an experiment.
Yeah.
You could, I guess if you put it under a microscope, what all you'd see.
Sci-fi.
It sounds smelly to me. I'm not getting it.
Yeah. Can you? I bet it does smell.
Yeah.
I bet so. So note to self: if you see that, just be careful and stay
Good
away.
public service announcement.
Yeah, there we go. I'm knocking them down.
Yeah, you
I got
are.
all kinds of public
All
service.
sorts of public
Yeah,
service.
for sure. All right, let's jump in, Cassie, and let's tell the story. I always like to hear the story.
Yeah.
Of of course. I was gonna say when you and Steve met. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Just kidding. No, I do like to hear that story. That was a cool story. That's a cool story. But tell us how exactly we're talking about Cast this morning. So let's talk about Cast and your love for this and where the seeds got planted and how it became what it is today.
yeah. It's been going on in Washington County. Cast has for like 8 or 9 years now, which is bonkers to even think about. But really it started because there was a group of people in Salem who just felt like there were some kids who were getting left out. There were kids falling through the cracks. Not anyone's fault in the school system. It's just as kids get older, they don't find their thing, or they don't find their person, or they feel like they're kind of floundering academically. And we wanted to fill in the gaps education-wise at Salem. So we started that with an after-school program that we did just for middle schoolers. And at that time, Afternoons Rocks had been wonderful, and it was finished. Big Brothers Big Sisters had been wonderful, and that was finished. And so there was really a gap for kids in our community to get mentors and to get help just academically to make sure that they succeed at that middle school level. And at that age, they're too old for a babysitter. They don't want to go to daycare, but they want something. They need something positive to do. And so we did an after-school program 2 days a week at Salem, and we did that for so long. And we really still have done it, even post-COVID, a little bit, and we're getting ready to restart that again. And that has been wonderful to just have a safe place for that 6th through 8th grade population. It's so hard to be a teenager. I always say, like, do you remember being 12 and you smell all of a sudden? and you've got weird hormones, and you're not fun to be around, you're not cute anymore, you know, and that age group does tend to get left out, and it's a hard age. And so we just wanted to have as many people around them to have positive impact as possible. And so that's what we started doing. It was wonderful. And then fast forward, we started noticing that we needed to intervene a little bit sooner, that these kids were coming with poor reading skills and poor math skills in middle school, and by then, especially for reading, the pathway in your brain that becomes a fluent reader closes by like 4th grade. And so we felt like we needed to get into our elementary schools and start intervening a little bit earlier and supporting students a little bit earlier so that they could build the pathways in their brains to become fluent readers. And so we started doing that just by going into classrooms a little bit, in 2nd and 3rd grade classrooms, just helping out, reading with the kids, helping them get caught up if they were absent, things like that. We did that for a while. And then in 2019, we partnered with Aaron Houchin and Dustin Houchin, who their son Graham is dyslexic. He's a student, he just started 9th grade.
Awesome.
And he's doing great. But in 3rd grade, and I think they're fine with me telling this story because I tell it to everybody. In 3rd grade, he was really struggling. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong. They would spend hours and hours and hours on spelling tests, and then he'd fail them. And they just couldn't figure it out. So eventually, come to find out, after a lot of work and a lot of effort to get him a diagnosis, he was diagnosed with dyslexia. And it was like a really hard situation because they didn't have any resources. So after his diagnosis, they were told, well, you need to go to Indy for 6 weeks this summer and just do an intensive reading camp. And they were like, well, Indy's kind of far for us to just live there for 6 weeks. But come to find out, thanks to a partnership with the YMCA, actually, and some grant money, Lori Campbell and Ashley Hubbard and a bunch of people there in the community happened to be doing a multisensory reading camp for 6 weeks this summer in Salem. He was able to attend it, and after that received, again, the kind of tutoring that works for a dyslexic brain. With his tutor, we just happened to have a couple of people in Salem trained to teach him reading exactly the way that he needed to be taught, and it was like a miracle. And he is doing amazing. He's reading at grade level. He's passing. He's doing well. But I remember them saying, like, in 3rd grade, he hated school. He thought he was stupid. He couldn't read or spell, and it wasn't that he wasn't smart, it was that his brain neurologically processes words and language differently. And so once he learned that, he was able to get the help he needed. So they said the fact that we don't have this available to us, to most kids in Washington County, that we have the resources to help our son and it doesn't exist here, is not okay. And so that was because that was just a 6-week program. And so they were really passionate about, let's train teachers, let's train tutors, and let's get this available to everybody in our community so that we can improve reading all around. Because it doesn't matter if you're dyslexic, the way that we teach reading at CAST actually works for everybody's brain. It's going to raise the tide for everybody. It's going to make everybody a better reader. And it really is just a multisensory system of teaching phonics to kids. And when you teach them the rules to read, usually they remember it. And so that's what we've taught. We've taught over 70 teachers and tutors in Washington County to teach reading in this very particular way. It's called Orton Gillingham. And we have about 130 kids in Washington County that we work with one-on-one and in small groups. And we're starting up a multisensory math tutoring program this fall. So we're really excited. We partner with Marian University right now, who has a larger grant that we can work under. So we're able to offer this tutoring totally free of cost for anybody in Washington County. So we're able to bless teachers and tutors and give them a little bit of extra money, but also we're able to offer it free for all of our students because cost was a real barrier. And I really feel passionately that we're going to work until everybody learns to read. And we're gonna be here for the long haul, and whatever we need to do to make it accessible to these kids, we're gonna do it. So that's what we do. So our programs start up this fall in reading and spelling and math, and we serve everybody in the county. We're starting to serve kids outside of our county too, which is wonderful. That's our ultimate goal, is that Salem's not the only rural service desert. Campbellsburg and Pekin, they're not the only place where we don't have the services that our kids need. And we've been able to partner with all 3 of those school districts, which has been amazing, and I'm so grateful for all 3 of them. But there are lots of rural service deserts all around us too. And so we're starting to infiltrate there and be able to help kids just a little bit now, but hopefully on a much larger scale soon. So that's kind of where we are as far as programming.
Wow.
That was a lot. Sorry, Radio Land.
I'm so happy you said all that, because, but it was not so awesome. I'm gonna be all over the page here. Maybe
That's
like
okay, I
popcorn,
understand.
Like popcorn. Okay, because this is a lot. Because I feel like, wasn't it so awesome when this was introduced and we learned that, that our students needed that extra help?
Yeah.
How happy were you when you saw the response of our teachers and everybody and the volunteers, everybody that wanted to be a part and to get that training?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like to me, that was next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like a huge growth. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like, you're not stale, you're not stagnant. You're like, you're moving. Like, I mean, like, that's just.
Well, there's no way we could have 130 kids on our rosters if I didn't have 25 teachers and tutors willing to work with kids after school.
But that just is to me amazing, because for any time you get somebody's time.
Yeah.
I mean, or somebody to go that extra, that right there is just huge.
Absolutely. And I don't want to minimize the amount of work that our teachers and tutors did either. I will shout out, the Community Foundation of Washington County did give us some startup money, and they provided funding for a lot of this teacher training, which is very expensive because it's a graduate level course. It's about 50 hours of work, 50 academic hours. So they're either giving up like 2 to 4 weeks of their lives or a whole semester of their lives to get this certification, and it's a lot of work. So I really commend any teacher, and we all know teachers are overworked already. So I commend any teacher who says, no, I'm going to go and I'm going to do this and I'm going to get the training that I need. And a lot of the teachers now in Washington County are a little bit ahead of the game, because this is the kind of reading that's actually been mandated by our state. So a lot of our teachers already have a lot of the expertise that they need to implement it classroom-wide. So I'm super excited about that too. But no, it's been wonderful.
I love bragging on our teachers, because that's what I think, because you realize they're at it like Monday through Friday, and we know that they get there. And weekends,
Summers, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, some of them don't even hardly go home in summer. You know what I mean? So we know that they are like, they're really a lot, and then to actually do the extra training, but they realize how valuable that was. And I think that's, to me, just awesome.
That's been one of my favorite things, is seeing the teachers that we've trained who have said, I'm going to tutor for you. I have 2 or 3 kids in my classroom that I think would be a good fit, and I'm going to get with them and we're going to start. So they're able to see the results of their work right firsthand, and able to get with the families that they know need it most. And so I've been really excited about that.
Definitely. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to years to when you first started, because I've been with you like.
I'm pretty sure I came every year.
Yeah, I know, and which I love this, watching this it just like completely just exploded. It was better than a watermelon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Much better, less sticky. Most of the time.
Yeah. So going back to this, I remember whenever the first talk about this, and was this your vision? I mean, like, did you have any idea, like, when you first started this?
No, I did not think that we would be where we are today. We really, when we started, just wanted to be present in kids' lives. And I think that we have, by and large, accomplished that goal, and I still want to be present in kids' lives. And the way that we've done it has shifted somewhat. But no, I didn't anticipate having 130 kids across the county that we worked with one-on-one. So we have definitely had some growing pains. Anybody who's worked with our organization, thank you for your patience. Because if you're waiting for me to get back with you, it's truly just me. So
you kind of got a lot going on.
Thank you for your patience. I gotta also raise my kids. But no, we didn't anticipate how large it was, and we also didn't anticipate how large the need was. Right. So we know now that about 15 to 20% of the population has characteristics of dyslexia anyway. So 20% of your classrooms likely have kids who will only learn to read in this particular way. So if you take that and then you magnify COVID, where not only those dyslexic readers it's now nobody's fault, but they weren't getting the one-on-one reading instruction that they needed. They just weren't. And so those kids are behind. And so, and not even counting the other 80% of the classroom who could benefit from that kind of reading, but they're not getting it either. So we've seen lots and lots of reading and spelling struggles just purely because COVID dealt everybody academically such a crummy blow.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of older students now who maybe got missed through nobody's fault. They just did. And they need extra reading help too now. So yes, we've grown quickly. No, I didn't anticipate how big and how wide the needs were, but I'm excited to be able to poke a hole,
Yeah.
you know, just every once in a while, and feel like we're making a difference, and be able to look at the data and see like, oh, this student improved 30% in their reading ability this school year is pretty exciting. So.
Well, I remember, let me go back on my end. I remember hearing, Cassandra Corp wants to have this after school program.
Yeah.
This is, and she wants, to have the buses just take the children
Yep.
on, and I remember listening to all this, and I kept thinking, well, this is interesting. This is a lot, and I kept, where's this, but I on my end, which I'm not, you're the one. This is completely you, but I remember not realizing it was a good thing, but not realizing what it was going to.
No, me neither.
To our county schools.
The impact it was going to have.
No.
No, I mean, I don't think anybody.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you did, because I know.
No, definitely not.
But it has, and that's fantastic, and that's just, I love that. We talk about a seed planted, and you talk about a beautiful crop. So will there be, like, you think, students that have gone through that will come back to help, you think?
I hope so. We have had some middle schoolers who we worked with, when we first started, come back and offer their services and offer to volunteer and be involved. And that has been really wonderful. And we haven't left that population. I don't want you to think that I abandoned middle schoolers. We actually are working with hopefully 4-H to start something up pretty soon with that age group again, to be really intentional and large. And so we're excited about that countywide. But yes, it has been exciting now to see our older kids who are adults now have meaningful jobs and giving back to the community and showing up and being contributing citizens, which is part of our mission, is to create contributing citizens in our community. So yeah, I think so. Now, a lot of our little kids are too little now really to start making those decisions for themselves, but I imagine that in 10 years we're gonna see a lot of them come back and say, you changed my life. How can we give back so that you can change more kids' lives? I hope. That's my hope.
Would that be? No, I see it. I think it'll be not too far in the future. I think that's very very much so, because I think you go back and like years ago. Let's go back. I think, well, I don't want to say this, but if you find any positives, any shape or form, I feel like we are more talking about things that we didn't used to talk about.
Sure, yeah.
And even maybe a little prior to that too, like it's okay if you learn different. You know what I mean? Yeah. And everybody, I think that's what I love. I love everybody's uniqueness. You know what I mean? And I love that we are embracing that and learning to, instead of like years ago you just don't talk about it, and you might have had those that went through, and I'm a big believer in, you got to lay a good foundation. Like if you're building a home, you want that good foundation, and reading, we know, I mean, you really have a lot of struggles in life if you can't read.
Yep. I've said, now I want everyone to love reading, don't get me wrong, because reading has been such a joy in my life, but that is not my ultimate goal. I don't care if you ever derive any joy from reading. I care that you can read your medicine bottle, and I care that you can read the ingredients list on your groceries that you buy, and I care, on your chocolate, and I care that you can read the road signs, and I care that you can read a contract, all things that you have to be able to do to exist in the world. That's what I care about. If you never love to read, I don't care. I just care that you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and how far you want to go with it is, but at least the fundamentals, because we have seen where high school students have entered in and they maybe are not
fluent readers. Well, and we know the data says if you're not a fluent reader by 4th grade, your chances of graduating go down. If you're not a fluent reader, your chances of entering the justice system go up. And we've got to stop it before that even becomes part of the conversation. And that's one of the things that I feel really passionately about. We're not going to make any kid feel like they're dumb because their brain works differently.
No, right.
And they're not. And we know that especially dyslexic kids usually have average or above average intelligence. It's not an intelligence issue.
Right.
It's a neurological issue, and you have to retrain your brain, and that's what we do.
Right.
But anyway, so all of that to say, this is what we're doing in Washington County and beyond. Now, we do have a fundraiser coming up at the Salem Speedway. It's on August 19th. And all of the proceeds to that are going to help make sure that this program stays free for Washington County kiddos. Like I said, we're operating under a grant right now. We all know that grants are fickle.
Mm-hmm.
Grants don't last forever. This is money that was set aside due to COVID learning loss. That money is not going to exist forever. But we want to make sure that we exist in this community and have staying power in this community and make it accessible and have no barriers for our kiddos here in Washington County. So all the proceeds to that are going to go towards making sure that we keep this program free in Washington County. The tickets for the race are $50. It comes with a dinner, a catered barbecue dinner. It comes with VIP seats to the race that night. And then our speaker I'm super excited about is Elliot Cox from Driving for Dyslexia. He is a race car driver who is a teenager. He has dyslexia, and he has decided that his mission in life is to raise awareness about dyslexia and about training for teachers because it has made such a difference in his life. He's like 16 years old.
That's amazing.
He's amazing, and he's been doing it since he was a kid, like elementary age kid.
Crazy.
And they have trained. So what they do is they go around and raise money for teacher training all over Indiana. They've been on Kathy Lee and Hoda talking about their work. So what he does is he races cars and he raises money for teacher training, and they do teacher trainings all over Indiana, especially in Indianapolis. But he came to our first pre-COVID fundraiser and spoke. And got interviewed by his dad, which was just the cutest thing you'll ever see.
Oh.
I don't know exactly what he's going to do this time, but he's going to be involved a little bit more in the race this time, and so I'm super excited to see him again because he's much taller, and super excited to hear his story and hear what he's done because in his mind he has said, like, dyslexia doesn't stop me, and I want to make sure it's not stopping any other kids too. And he's been a really big advocate for legislation and all of that stuff. So we're super excited about him. So come on out. We are still looking for sponsors too. You can sponsor at a variety of levels, but you also can just buy a ticket and come and sit in the VIP section and be a very important person supporting literacy in Washington County. And that is August 19th.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's going to be great.
I'm thinking this is so cool. I mean, like, well, it's crazy how these race car drivers start so young.
Oh my gosh.
You know, in 16.
Little
right?
bitty. And he's been driving,
Go-karts,
go-karts since he was basically a baby.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And but then you think the doors that this young man can open. I mean, and the people, the lives that he can touch at 16, like,
Yep.
what a wonderful role model.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
for people to want to be him, you know what I mean? And for him to step out and say that it's okay.
Yep.
It's all good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And for him to have this platform that he's on already.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. And we know that mental health for kids that have learning differences is already a big struggle, that your mental health is likely to be poorer if you have a lot of academic and learning struggles, especially if you're not supported. So to be able to have him come and speak to some of our kids that work in our programs, I think is going to be such a boon to their confidence. So I'm excited about that too.
As you should be. Where's he located from?
He's from Indy.
Indy. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
wonderful. Well, this is exciting. So we'll keep talking about that coming
Yeah,
up.
please do.
Yeah, and I love the partnership there. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, me too.
So going back though, you touched, and I kind of forgot that.
I said a lot of things.
No. Let's explain. Has it changed? Because last time we spoke, I remember that I think they were trying to work on it, but like to be diagnosed. Is that, I know, has that changed? Because, or is that, I remember they were trying to get like where.
Yeah.
Not just a doctor, right? Or,
Yeah. So no, not really.
Okay.
One thing that I am very hopeful about is, and Erin Houchin, who used to be our state senator, she's in Washington now for us.
Kicking it. Let me
Let
put
yeah.
a side note. Kicking it.
Yeah, doing great.
Not sleeping.
No, man.
Don't know if there's even food involved.
Yeah,
kicking it.
she's working hard.
Everybody
yeah.
she's just like.
I think it's not quite as glamorous as we think it is.
Oh no, I think that yeah.
But anyway, she has done some important work And one of the things that she introduced when she was a state senator was this bill that required screening for characteristics of dyslexia
Right.
if you're in kindergarten, first and second grade.
Yes.
Now that has had some growing pains, and now I think it's getting to the point where it's standardized across the board for the most part for the state of Indiana. But even imperfectly, what it does is it serves the purpose of saying in kindergarten, oh, your child flagged as maybe having some reading difficulty. Now in kindergarten, it might be nothing because kindergartners don't know all their letters yet.
Right.
But if it comes back in first grade, then we can start getting you interventions immediately to make sure that the reading instruction that you're getting is correct for the way that your brain works. Now, it is not a diagnosis. I want to be very clear. Schools cannot diagnose dyslexia, and honestly, they don't anyway. No school. They'll call it a specific learning disability. Dyslexia specifically has to be diagnosed both psychologically and medically, and it is cost prohibitive. We do have people, it's going to cost at least $1,000 probably.
Yeah, that was what I remember.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
For families.
So now, and that's a lot. Now, a lot of people will want to do that. My first goal was, let's just teach everybody to read that we can possibly get.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about the screening for dyslexia is if they've got that already in kindergarten, first or second, they can get services through the school to help with their reading. And so even though they may not have accommodations based on that yet, it's a help to say, oh, this kid does have a reading difficulty. We're going to put him in a classroom where he's going to be able to thrive, or we're going to put him with a teacher who's been trained, or we're going to put him in a reading group with a teacher who has OG and is going to do systematic phonics. And so by and large, that does get you a lot of services. And for a lot of kids, that's enough and they don't need a diagnosis.
Right.
And you can get the specific learning disability, which does get you the accommodations for dyslexia, and that is provided by a school. If you want a particular dyslexia diagnosis, my next job is to get diagnosis here and get it accessible and get it not to be a cost prohibitive experience for families. We do have people that we can refer you to for diagnosis. We partner with the Dyslexia Institute of Indiana. They've done a lot of our trainings. They're wonderful. And they have diagnosis services there on site, and they do have, I believe, some financial assistance available too. But you're right. Right now, it's hard. It's tricky. But I am hopeful, because kids are still getting that screening and because they can still get a specific learning disability diagnosis and then get their accommodations. It's closer. It's closer, but still a struggle.
Right.
But that's kind of my next line of defense is let's make it to where we can get these kids what they need, and get them and sometimes labels can comfort kids to say, oh, I'm not dumb, I have dyslexia.
Yeah.
Is empowering to a lot of kids.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's great. I actually am going in September. I'm speaking at the Literacy Symposium in Indianapolis. We're going to talk about providing literacy in a rural service desert. I'm doing that with the Dyslexia Institute of Indiana, and we're going to hopefully have some Washington County reps there, and we're going to talk about what we've done. So, very exciting.
Yay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just be, like, if it just becomes contagious?
I would love it.
I mean, just...
There's nothing I'd like more.
I know.
And there are people doing this work all over the state, which has been really exciting.
But, like, just keep growing. And like you said, there's, there's like some that fall through the gap. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And just like everybody, this is just like, just something everybody has access to.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
I know.
Yes. I need a lot of money for that to happen, so if you're listening and you have a lot of money, please consider a donation to CAST.
And that's the thing, but I feel like that God moves it. It seems like money's not a problem here. I mean, I'm saying is you're moving. You know what I'm saying? And doing great things. Your mountains are moving.
I wouldn't say money's not a problem, but
but I'm saying, but
no, we are persevering. We always need more.
Well, that's everybody feels that way.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying, you are moving some mountains here, and you are making progress, and you're going forward, and you've got goals. It's always good to have goals.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And things that we always want those what I'd like to see, and and I do believe you'll get there. I think it's going to get there. I love, and I don't think people always understand it. I love the school corporations having a plan. Like every child's an individual, and every child has a plan. And then when they come with the parents, that's why it's so important to come to these teacher-parent conferences.
Yes. And
to go over, or if you're a teacher, I'm a huge supporter of the teachers. I think they do fantastic
They
too.
do, they do.
I know, and I know you
Big
all.
fan.
Yes, all of you here do. But it's so important to have that relationship, and that's something I know. Like on the school board, we always, and please get that relationship, because I know when the girls run school, we talked often to their teachers. You know what I'm saying? And that's so important to have that good relationship, and everybody's working to make that child the best that child can be. And I think that's important, and I think sometimes people don't realize that those plans are in place, and and when you get those calls, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Everybody working together.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of IEPs. So if you're on the fence, getting your child an IEP, get that IEP.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Or 504 or whatever it is, get it.
Yeah. And I think that's something that, now, I mean, this is so doable. Years ago, it might have been a little more difficult, and I think we've learned so much more.
Oh, yeah. Well, and shout out to our school corporations for making sure that it's happening.
Exactly.
And feeling supportive, and I'm a big fan of the work that our schools are doing to make sure that every student is supported. Yeah. Big personal shout out to my kids' teachers. My kids have just been blessed with great teachers all the way through, so.
Well, I've always, I talked about when I was many years ago, but I always loved our teachers, and I think and it continues on, and matter of fact, every year I always fell in love. You know what I mean? I always loved my teachers so much. I never wanted to leave. And I'm like, do you feel the same way? And they're like, no, we're ready for our summer. We're ready to get you out, Miss Martin.
That's sweet. And probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was true. True story. But anyway, anyway, so I think that relationship is so valuable, and I love that. And Cassie, I think, what you're doing and you're volunteering. So let's talk about, let's say somebody's listening right now here on the radio or streaming or whatever, and no matter where you're at, let's say that they want to become a volunteer or how would they get involved? If they have some extra time, and how much time do you have to put into this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So on our website, there's a tab for volunteer opportunities. You can fill that out. It will come straight to me, and I will get back with you. So as far as volunteer opportunities, we always can use people in our office to just help us with administrative tasks. I am kind of an army of one when it comes to our office. It's just me there all the time. So if you want to come and help me file, or come and help me organize, or come and help me decorate, I will take you. So that's a great way, and that's a one-off, just be involved in our organization. If you want to make some multi-sensory tools, I'll take that too. But we also have some specific opportunities. Our middle school program is going to need some volunteers, and that's going to be probably a once-a-month commitment, so not a huge commitment. So we're excited about that. I think it's going to happen off-site of the schools, so it would be kind of in a neutral location. So that is an opportunity to just be involved in middle schoolers' lives, help them with homework, and do some things. We're teaching life skills in that program, I'm hoping, so things like cooking and budgeting and how to check your oil, things like that.
Say that louder for the people
How
in the back.
to, honestly, how to address an envelope and send a letter.
Write a check.
Yes, how to write a check.
Louder.
Yes,
how to balance
so little things like that. How to
Plus
budget
tax.
for your groceries.
Plus tax. That was always my
Well,
deal.
yeah,
It
we
was
usually always
I have
do
a
one
dollar.
day that's, okay, calculate your tax, or calculate your tip, or...
The value of money.
I would say
Yes, the
Abby
value of
hated
money.
plus tax.
Yes.
Because she would be like, does it cost
Yeah,
a
yeah,
dollar?
yeah.
I have a dollar.
That's
But then
not
you
a
have to-
dollar.
It's plus tax.
Yes. So we're going to be doing that. So if you are particularly passionate about any of those things that I just mentioned, if you want to be a guest speaker, if you want to come in and just be a positive adult influence in the lives of these kids, we will take you for that. We don't have details up for that yet because we've literally just started working on it. But that is a way to be involved. And then we also are hoping to be in each of the elementary schools coming up here this school year to work in 2nd and 3rd grade classrooms. So if you're somebody who wants to give an hour once a week, it can be on your lunch break, it can be before you go into work in the morning, whatever it is, and you just want to spend an hour with a particular classroom, and you'll be matched with 1 or 2 students that you can work with. And that is a once a week commitment, and we'll take you. So if you have some free time, or if you want to, or if your business allows you to volunteer as part of your work day, we'll definitely take you for that. So you can fill out the generic volunteer form for any of those things, and then I'll contact you and maybe find what's a good fit for you for our organization. If you want to become a reading tutor, I'll absolutely let you do that too. You do have to take a very intense training, but it will be worth it. So that's also an option.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
something for everyone there.
Yeah.
All 6 of my daughters had Linda Ralston for.
Love her.
Yes. And I remember her talking about in reading a lot of times too, like jumping rope, that rhythm, like helps. You know what I mean? Like things like that you can do, and it's cool. Like when you learn things like that, just to kind of help.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
the pace and stuff. And I think there's so many great things like that to learn, and what a great opportunity. So I kind of like the idea of having it off campuses.
Yeah.
Because then, like, you're not in that same school setting.
Yeah.
You know
We've
what I
done it both ways. We've done it in a school building, and then we used to do it at Southern Hills. We're considering using them again. It's just nice for them to have a place that's not their building.
mean? Yeah. A little different.
A little bit different, and this time we're going to try and get some kids from the other school districts too to be involved in it, which I think the kids need that now more than ever. There's lots of kids that they don't ever see because they don't go to school with them. So we're going to try and do that too. So off campus will help with that.
For those listening to do homeschooling,
We'll take them for homeschooling. Yeah, absolutely. The busing will be different. Obviously, you'll probably have to drop your child off.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll take you.
Well, I
Anytime.
think that. Okay, and so for someone that's like interested in doing this, do they bring their own materials? Do they bring like pens, papers, or?
Oh, to help with that? To
Yeah,
volunteer?
I meant
Oh,
for
the kids.
students.
Usually we provide everything. Unless they have something specific that they need, if we're doing homework time or something, then they can bring what they specifically want, or if they have a book they want to share, something like that. But in general, our tutors or our volunteers or our programming will provide the materials that you need, by and large.
Okay. And then, like, on homework, so like if they have homework, then you help with that too? Or is that something
So in our middle school programs we do, for our after school tutoring for reading and math, that's not to say that we never will help with homework, but the purpose of it is really there's already a really intensive lesson plan for reading and math. So often we don't have, sometimes at the end, if I have a kid who I know is really behind, I'll add it into my personal time.
Right.
But it's not something that most of our tutors will do, because the purpose of that 45 minutes or an hour is specifically for you to focus on learning a reading skill or a spelling skill. So no, not usually, but we can, but it's not the purpose of that particular program. If that makes sense.
Like, okay, so like, let's say that a child comes and starts. How long are they going to be involved? How long is there?
That's a really interesting question, and I don't have an answer. It really depends on the kid.
I'm trying to do questions you don't
So dyslexia, if you're a dyslexic student and dyslexia is a spectrum, just like we know autism is a spectrum. Some people have severe dyslexic traits, some people don't. Some people are able to compensate themselves and never know that they're dyslexic. But if you're somebody who's severely dyslexic, or if you want to like go further into college or beyond, you might need a tutor for your whole life. Somebody to just make sure that you remember what you need to remember and keep putting that information in long-term memory. Now the skills are going to be different as you get higher up, but those kids might need a tutor all the way through their academic career. They might not. They might get the skills, and I have found that as kids get busier and older, they tend to drop off. But that doesn't mean that they still don't need help. It's just that they aren't prioritizing it anymore. A lot of our kids, though, once they kind of get to that grade level reading and they're able to get the instruction from their classroom and that's sufficient, then it's okay with me if they drop off. But some of our kids will be with us for years.
Yeah.
And still showing progress.
It's like when you reach a certain age, there's a stigma associated with having a tutor.
Yep, that's true.
And in some instances, you're made fun of, and bullying can interfere. So there's a lot of things when you reach that certain age that can
and it's embarrassing.
And
you're embarrassed by everything when you're in middle school, so I understand.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. You're right. And often at that age, I'll have people drop off. Although I will say, kids who have a dyslexia diagnosis seem to have a lot less, this is just me personally, I noticed that they don't have as much stigma attached to that, because they realize my brain works different. I'm getting a tutor because my brain works different. And I'm not dumb, I just need a tutor. And that I find is empowering for them, and it's almost like a shield to say, like, there's a reason that I'm getting this. And so that I find, if they have a diagnosis and they can specifically say, and usually their friends are better about it that way. But you're right, there is a stigma, and it's something that we have to definitely work against. And they just get busy. They want to play sports or they want to play with their friends.
Yeah.
And so usually by about middle school, I do have some middle schoolers that we work with, but by middle school and high school, they tend to drop off on me. But
And I like that you're starting with the younger years as well, because to me, when you're younger, like that's when you learn that love for reading, and there's the excitement there, and you can hold the attentions longer when it comes, so I like it that y'all are starting younger with that. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all good stuff.
All good stuff.
I remember this. I'll not name a teacher, but she had like 15 minutes of reading, whatever you wanted. It was like whatever you wanted to choose, and this was. I think they were little bitty, and I remember one of the students pulling out a 17 magazine. I thought, I don't know where your path will go.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
that'd be Maggie. For sure.
This is like I'm sure. Yeah, I'll never forget that. But you know what? The teacher didn't discourage it because it was reading.
That's right.
There was
right.
reading involved.
That's right.
To each their own.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? But I guess what I hope, and I think we've seen this was, I know this is not what we're talking about, but like we've been talking about, like, well, not this time, but like mental health and how it's been more like we squashed that it's not, that it's okay to say that you need to talk to someone. We've really, and our whole state has focused on that. I've been in every meeting that I've been everywhere. They were like, we're trying to squash that, and we realize that. So I think we're taking huge strides on that. But that's what my point is. I'm circling the wagon. Stay with me.
I understand.
But my point is, I hope we can squash that thought of if you have to have a tutor. I personally, if like everybody needs help. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Google is great. We use Google a lot. But to have that tutor, I hope someday that we can squash that where it's not maybe, like you said, as not as acceptable or maybe a little more embarrassing. Or,
I've never seen the mental health crisis that we're in now in all of my life. With that age of children.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Exactly.
It's horrible. It makes me so sad, and you just want to help them all because and COVID hurt bad. I mean, it was there before, but when COVID hit, it made it so much worse because they couldn't socialize like they were, and blah 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 blah. Yeah. But it's like that's a pandemic of its own, the mental illness right now. Like it's in a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
Sad state of affairs right now that we need to work on in this country as a whole, because we need mental health support in a major way.
I have to agree with that, and I think we are. I mean, I'm not saying we're not where we need to be. I got you on that.
No. But we are talking about it more, and I think that's
it
wonderful.
More, you know what I mean? And that's what I just hope we keep on. You know what I mean? And I hope with the tutor, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
No, and that's another next step of mine is a campaign that we have through the the International Dyslexia Association does something called You Are Not Alone, and it matches dyslexic adults with dyslexic kids, and they write them a letter and give them a bracelet, and it's just something to say like, hey, I've been here before. There's a way out.
Oh yeah.
I've been down in that pit. Here's the way you get out of the pit. And so that's one of our next initiatives, is to find some kids, not necessarily who just have dyslexia, who just need that extra support mental health wise, especially kids with learning differences, because we know they have such poor mental health outcomes, many of them. So that's another thing that's on the horizon, is we're going to be supporting the mental health of dyslexic kids and struggling readers in Washington County. So I'm excited about that too.
Right. Well, I think that's the
next.
I think that's going to be
next horizon.
Well, just like and you're planting the seeds with our race car driver.
Yeah.
Because that right there shows, that you can. You just got to keep on going, and and I think I think that's a great idea to have, for the mentors to come and talk. And
I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Definitely.
Well, I think we just got to keep strides. I don't think it's where everybody here in the room agree that we got to keep on.
Oh yeah, a bite out of the elephant every day.
That's my saying. 100%. Yeah. And that's what you got to do. And I think I love that. And I think this is our future. These children are our future. These are going to be the people, Holly, that's going to do your job.
Yes.
Cassie's going to do your job, and somebody better be sitting in this seat with my job. You know what I mean? And and this is our future, and you want that, and you also want that everybody have the best quality life that they can have. You know what I mean? And giving them that, and knowing that if they you know, like you said, you know, if you're in there, there's, you know, my mom always said, because I remember in 4-H, I loved 4-H and I loved my projects, but I hated the paperwork that I'd have to do, you know. And my mom always made me do the paperwork because she'd say, you'll never get out of doing paperwork. There's always going to have to be paperwork, you know. And so I think that was something that it was instilled in me at an early age. And I think it was sad for those that maybe can't read that paperwork or understand what they're reading on that paperwork. And just like you said, signing a contract. You don't ever sign a contract if you don't read it. You know what I mean? Those are just things in life, you know. And I think those are things that you know, I think is a great thing. And a tool, another tool. I love it. Keep putting tools in their tool belts. So,
definitely.
So I think that's great, Cassie. So have we started for this school year yet?
No, I think we're gonna actually, by and large, people are gonna start in September.
I
like to start in September. It gives our teachers a little bit of a break too.
Everybody's right now this is an adjusting.
And then especially our teachers who work with kids in their classrooms, it gives them time to get to know their kid, to get to know what they need. So I think it'll probably be closer to Labor Day when we actually start. I don't have a specific date yet, but hopefully this week.
All right. So, and will there be notes coming home, or like for people?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you've been in our program already, you're going to get a letter home this week or next week that has details about how to register. If you have not been part of our program, we'll send notes home. By and large, we like to target struggling readers for our one-on-one. So you may get a note home kind of mid-September that gives you information about how to do that. And then we also have online registration. So if you check our social media registration, I haven't publicized the registration link, but it's open. If you go to our website, you can register now.
Okay. And the website is
castwashco.org. Castwashco.org. So Cast Washington County, but it's castwashco.org. And the email is the same. It's just Gmail. castwashco@gmail. So if you have questions, shoot me an email, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions.
I love that. So, and then if you, whatever reason you don't get the letter, or maybe you know, a lot of times parents
still reach out. Usually,
sometimes the letters are sent home, but sometimes
Well, and usually conferences, if you have concerns, teachers usually will have the information to be able to provide that resource to the families at fall conferences, which is always good.
Now, do you get a chance to sometimes meet with the teachers, like, and talk, or do you stay like one-on-one and get to talk to them and tell them, you know, some things that you do?
That's one of my, it depends on the school district, but one of the things I want to start doing is some more work with our teachers as a whole in our county, just to make sure that they stay up on what they're supposed to, because like I said, it's a 50-hour training. It's a lot to remember. So just to give them like oh, hey, do you remember? Or here's a tool that you can add to your, you know, so that's one of the things that I think I'm going to be able to get into our schools and do that this school year too. But no, I love teachers. So yes, I do talk to them quite a bit, but my hope is that I'm going to get into the actual building and talk to them as a whole this school year. So
teachers, they never stop learning.
No, they definitely don't.
It's like that should be on a t-shirt.
I
think it is a t-shirt actually, Well, I mean, and I'm sure they love that relationship, but also too, like if I was a teacher and my students, I would want to know maybe like what you're teaching too. You know what I mean? Like I would want that relationship.
Yeah, and I do get the scope and sequence for what the teachers are teaching as far as phonics, so that it can match.
That's what I mean.
And then I can see like, oh, this student didn't retain that when you taught it, so I'm going to reteach it.
Exactly.
Is useful. Yeah.
That's great. Now, do you also, Cassie, one more thing. Do you also stay with the parents? Like, do you meet with some of the parents sometimes, or if they have any questions?
So I don't always, because we've got 130 kids.
Right.
But the tutor that they have will often meet one-on-one, or talk to them, or you know, at pickup say, hey, this is what I noticed, or here's something you can work on, and that kind of varies tutor to tutor what they provide. I talk to my parents usually at pickup, or I'll say, hey, we struggled with this, or here's something to work on this week. And then at the end of the school year, you get a letter that says, here are the results, because we screen them at the beginning of the year and then at the end, and then they get to see progress over time. So I can say, hey, this is the progress that your child made.
I love
and so
that.
they'll get that too. If you haven't gotten it yet, and you're a school year tutoring student, it's coming. Again, I work by myself in that office. It's coming. Probably this week. But it takes a while. If you have questions, give me a call. I'm happy to tell you.
Yeah, I love that. That's fantastic. That's great.
So we do try to communicate with our parents as much as possible.
Well, Cassie, you're doing a great thing.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
And and how many approximately we know like 130 said students, but
Yeah.
then how many volunteers you got at this time?
So we have about 25 tutors that work one-on-one with students, and that's our reading and math program. And then volunteer-wise, I'm not sure how many volunteers we'll have this year. I'm hoping for a couple of dozen
Yeah.
once we start our in-school programs. So
And
yeah.
it sounds like you've got like a good variety of items and things that a volunteer could do.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. We'll take ya.
Yeah, I love that. No one turned away. Yeah,
No,
that's right.
nobody turned
Well,
away.
and that's also too, if anybody's looking, because I know sometimes people will come up to me and say, I have a little bit of time volunteering, you got any ideas? This would be a
Yeah,
great idea
absolutely.
to help out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great give back. Yeah.
Cool.
And I think, giving back to our children, that's, you can't,
No.
that's just
It's the
fantastic.
future.
Yeah.
It's the future.
Yeah, for
And we
sure.
want it to be bright. So
All right, so we have a fundraiser coming up
Yep.
on the
19th of August
19th of August.
at the
Okay.
Salem Speedway.
Recap, okay.
Come at 6 p.m. There's dinner and speaker, Elliot Cox, and then VIP seating at the race. It's going to be
And
great.
then again, 100% of the proceeds go back to CAST.
Go back to CAST, yeah.
So that right there is a
Wonderful.
win.
Right here in
Yeah.
Washington County.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And if somebody wants to buy a table, right?
Mhm. Yeah, we have a table. So we have, you can get a table of 8, and it is $1,000. It comes with media recognition, event admission, and 8 chairs. So we'll take it. Yeah.
Not bad. And knowing that you're giving back, that's
And it's really a pretty good deal. I think it's like $20 to get into the race, and that's not VIP seating, and that's not a dinner.
Yeah.
So you're doing pretty well,
Yeah.
and you're giving back a little bit too.
absolutely.
So
yeah.
yeah, think of it as a $30 donation to have dinner.
I love that. There you go. That's great. That's great. Well, Cassie, keep up the great work from CAST and everything, and all that you do. We
Yeah.
appreciate that, and I love the relationship that you have with the teachers and the parents and the students.
Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah.
I'll see you again.
This is our
I guess next year.
precious. Well, maybe you'll come.
Maybe
in
like
school.
6 months.
But I would say this is like our most precious. Our children.
Yeah,
So that's,
absolutely.
Most precious resource.
Well, and I'm happy to see Holly too. That worked
Yes,
out great.
it was great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. You guys kind of got a
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
Going. You're in awareness. Together.
Awareness
Yeah.
alums.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. That's cool. That's cool. And Holly, you guys rocking it over there at Salem Crossing. I know. I'm sure.
We are, which I need to go out and get our flyer because our chicken barbecue is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
End of this month, and so we're having that, and then I'm also planning a cookout for my staff for our 5-star achievements there, and so yeah, so lots of going on.
Always getting awards. Always partying. That place. is
Loving
just-
it.
It's hopping over there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always happening. You can just hear it all. All of the things going on. You know what I mean? You pull in the parking lot and there's just like parties, all parties.
Party all the
Yeah,
time.
you're the party
all the time.
house. Yeah,
Yeah.
party house.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, congratulations on all of the 5-star and all that you do. But
Thank you.
but also that chicken barbecue. I mean, you got to get your name quickly. That
Yes.
goes crazy.
There's only 200 chickens,
And
we buy 200, and that's all Brent
They-
can fit on the grills. And once they're sold out, and usually all of them are pre-sold.
oh,
So that way, so the day of the barbecue, we have our list. We do free deliveries in local area, and so we have our list of what times. And my department heads, like, it's crazy, and I love it, and it's fun. It's my favorite time of the year, but they're just delivering here and there, and
That's
everything.
awesome.
And so I love it. But the smell when I show up
Oh.
in the morning, because Brent's already probably been there 34 hours cooking chicken, and the smell is
Oh, I
just
bet you're hungry.
for everybody in that Brady Shrum Elementary line, rolling down
smell
the
it.
window,
Mhm.
it's like
What day is this so I can get my name on?
It's August 25th.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, you
August
definitely.
25th.
Cassie, they go quick. I mean, like, yeah.
Yes.
If you don't, like, if
Okay.
you wait a second, because I know I've waited and I thought,
And
oh,
you've missed out.
yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 weeks from today.
Okay.
August 25th. It's
We'll
3
keep
weeks from
reminding
today.
everybody.
It's our
Whew.
Alzheimer's
Yeah.
fundraiser. That's
Very
our
important,
purpose behind it. So 100% of the proceeds go to the Alzheimer's Association
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
in support to find a cure for
Yeah.
that
Working.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I can't wait for the day that they say, what's that? You know,
Yep.
when
I
somebody
can't
says-
wait.
Me either.
I think all of us at one point or another have been touched in our lives. My first was with my grandmother. Like, that's where my passion started, and then that's got me into my career and fight for these folks every day to find that cure for them, because it is a horrible disease. So,
Well, Holly and Cassie, thank you so much for coming in. Let's thank
Yeah.
our sponsors.
we would like to thank Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Americans for Prosperity, Teas and Tumblers, Fox Pearly Wealth Management, Po Boys Barbecue, and Leader One Financial. Thank you so much, sponsors.
Everyone, have a great Friday. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ever wonder what it would be like to live without hip or knee pain? Schneck Orthopedics and Sports Medicine's new procedure makes it easier than you think. We're proud to be one of the first in the region to offer Mako robotic arm-assisted joint replacement surgery. This latest advancement transforms the way joint replacements are performed. Mako allows your surgeon to provide you with a personalized surgical experience based on your specific diagnosis and anatomy. This means less soft tissue damage and greater bone preservation, less blood loss, less pain, fewer days in the hospital, and faster recovery. Taking a walk, riding a bike, and playing with your grandchild.
.com/Bubba.
Two conservative, heterosexual, gun-toting, football-loving, evangelical Christian white men. In other words, the two most dangerous men in America, Rick and Bubba.
We're back. 6 minutes past the hour. The Rick and Bubba Show. Thank you for being with us today. Coming up this hour, the wonderful wheel of canned meat will happen. So be paying attention for that. We'll say goodbye to Lord the Jacket this hour. She'll be going out. I'll be wrapping up my time with you this week, this hour. Bubba Rama coming up next hour. So I want the gang to know.
I don't want to get ahead of myself,
Yep.
but we may have a special surprise guest during Bubba Rama.
Okay, so we'll see. Golden ticket seats are here, Bubba. There they are. Somebody's going to get a $50 gift card from American Express this hour, courtesy of Dudney as well. Y'all going to get a lot in this hour. With me needing to leave at 9, what I'm going to do is I normally take my gregarious personality and I spread it over 2 hours. What I will do this hour for you is I will double that. So I will double up on my gregarious fun with you this hour.
There you go.
And we'll also throw a lot at you this hour, so there'll be quite a bit. And then y'all help carry the guys for the rest of the show. In the last hour, they will be your responsibility.
We'll be out of things to do.
So Rick's going to wind you up and then let you loose.
That's correct.
Like a top.
How many of you are here for the very first time? You've never been in the Golden Ticket Seats. Okay, that's everybody.
Everybody.
See, I like that. See, the new system.
That's the goal.
Working. Yeah, that's the goal.
Reaching
So
goals.
we welcome all of you here and hope you enjoy yourselves and relax and enjoy. Now, Bubba, when we left last hour, Gary the Bulldozer Man brought by some of his world-famous peanut brittle.
And it is good, guys.
It normally
really
is very, very good, and it still is tasteful.
Boy.
But he warned us that he had too much Cairo and syrup in it, and that it was a little chewy. Now, I would disagree with Gary.
I called Dudney during the break.
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with Gary. It was a lot of chewy. It wasn't a little chewy. And Bubba was very cautious about it, and as we passed each other...
You know, I had a problem with the crown
that's wise.
for a while back.
That's wise. And as I was leaving the bathroom and Bubba was going in, he said, I just tried some, like he said, as like a piece of hard candy.
I'm just going to let it melt.
I'm going to let it dissolve.
Well,
if you bite it, it's like J.B. Wells.
That's... Letting it melt was the idea. It was the plan.
Right. It won't, though, will it?
But it did. It started melting, and then there was a peanut like in the middle of it, so it like broke into two pieces.
Okay.
And before I knew it, those two pieces had worked onto my teeth.
No.
And,
That's right.
And I'm trying to come back, and I can't open my mouth.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's like you were saying, it's J.B. welded shut.
Yeah.
And I began to think, how can I get in here and get? And at one point, I considered going to find Super Tom.
Right.
Seeing if he had a screwdriver so I could get my jaw open.
Fry your mouth.
I mean, it was
It's rough.
unbelievable. It was like it was airlocked.
Yeah, I never.
You know how a cooler will get sometimes on
Absolutely,
the ice? And
yeah.
you go, how? I mean, it doesn't matter what you do, you can't get
No,
this
it's
thing
funny
out.
you said that, because I took a bite of it, just a little bite, and I had a little bit of panic, because I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to pull this off. This may be with me forever. And it's almost like I thought, I always wonder what it was like to have jaw surgery and have your jaws wired shut.
DMJ or something.
Yeah, this is what it feels like.
Yeah. I feel sorry for him, too, because
He was a little down about it.
He spent time,
He was
effort,
a little down about it.
to do all
He's
this.
got long COVID.
Yeah, and then it turned out that way.
I
But
gotta-
he was worried about it when he came in. He said he was worried about
Can
it.
I
He
ask
always
this,
sandbags.
I thought he was.
Yeah.
Rick,
I
have
have
you
to
been
ask
mean to him, too? He seemed a little down.
No, I think he was honestly, no, I haven't. I think he's down
Matter of fact, he got some pretty good news this week from me. But I think he's.
Have you been on him about cutting that spot? You wanted bush hogged or the fence again?
Well, yeah, I have been on him about that.
I think he was disappointed in himself.
He was.
For messing up.
Hey,
Mike, and
he
then
must be building one of the best fences ever built.
Well, and you know
'Cause
how
that thing has took longer than the wall down on the southern border.
Gary said to me.
Don't peek too early, brother.
Yeah, Greg said to me, and I don't know that I agree with this. He said that I had a tendency to pick on people. And he so what I do because this fence he's had a hard time finding anybody who wants to work, all of these issues. He's getting older, let's just call it, and he's one guy. And then he said what I do is, like, if I'm going down there, I won't ask how the fence is doing. I'll claim that I think it's already finished.
Right.
And that's my, like last week I said, hey, Sherry and I headed to the farm. I said, we got a photographer. And I said, we're going to go over to the new fence and get some pictures made, some updated pictures of us in front of that fence, and see stuff like that.
Right.
And he says that's me.
Yeah, tell him the Clanton Peach is going to do a story on it.
Right,
and they're
right.
going to come out there and take a picture.
That's it.
Yeah, and I told him that, Sherry was Mrs. Peach Festival.
I know he got ahead of it, and he knew that it was not his best movement on this. Okay.
Yeah.
He evidently tried some, and that's how he knew. My question is, how bad did it have to be for him to not bring it in?
That's a great question.
That's because I'll be honest with you.
See, I don't think he did.
It's not edible.
I mean, I don't think
It's not edible.
I don't think I don't think he did.
Or eatable.
Yeah, I don't think that he did.
Eatable
try.
where I come from.
Oh, he didn't.
I don't think he did. No, because
he did?
No, because he said, I'm worried about it because I don't know about. He thought he might have messed up on the recipe because he couldn't remember it, and he did. He just put a little too much of something in it, and then not enough of something else.
Well, the
And
good
it made
news
it-
is he can use it to stop that leak down the
Bubba, I said we can do now. He doesn't need to nail the boards across the post.
No.
He can just put some brittle behind it and hit it hard with the hammer.
God,
It won't move.
That stuff would hold a beaver to a parachute. You know, I mean, that's unbelievable.
Bubba, I think he'll hold together a beaver down.
Hey, you see what I'm talking about? That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I hate he left. Greg, what about we asked him why?
Are we sure he did? He may be hanging out.
That's a
now.
good point. What about we asked him when did he put too much in there? Why did he do it?
Because I'm an idiot.
He usually makes really good brittle. He does. As a matter of fact, his brittle sometimes is like eating a peanut brittle cloud.
And I thought that he was exact. He
He
always
does.
sandbags.
Is he losing his
But when I
edge
bit it, I went, oh, he's right.
on cooking stuff?
I think Gary's I think he's, but I hate to say this because this has mainly been on you, but I think we can look over at Gary and say he's kind of going through a rough patch.
Well, I'm ready to share with somebody else.
If his next batch of pies comes out bad, then I don't know what we're going to do.
I know. What if he's
going to have to redeem it.
What if he makes a bad pie?
He won't be able to stand that.
Next, Rick, you won't be able to put a deck on something.
No.
Sorry, Gary.
No, he probably won't. Golly.
He is 66.
Rick, I think you pushed him over the edge.
It's
'cause
possible.
he was pretty sharp when I knew him.
It's possible.
He's really,
You know what
Rick's
Gary-
warning him.
You know what
He
Gary?
just beat him down.
You know what Gary is to you?
Every word he says is like an echo.
You know
Just
what
like he's in the Grand Canyon.
You're right. Did you know what it is, Bubba? It's like when you let somebody have something and they go, my goodness, I gave it to you. It was working great.
Yeah, now you broke it. You brought it back.
I think he said it's the heat. He said it's
Let me
just he
tell you
gets out there
something.
and it's just so hot.
Let me
Can't
tell
get no help.
Let me tell
No.
you something.
You mean like every summer?
Yeah.
Hey,
Not this year.
Hey, it's heat. If you ain't used to being in it, Rick.
And the thing that really bothers him is like, one time we were in the heat one time picking okra, and he started worrying about itching his hands, and I started getting on him. And I said, well, I'm fine. I said, I didn't think, here I come, city boy down here, and I said, I'm not working. I said, are we just going to talk about the itchiness of the okra the whole time?
Well, I'm just telling you, it itches me.
And I said, well, this is, I mean, it kind of disappointed me, you know what I mean, for somebody to be so.
You have a long shirt on?
A long shirt?
Yeah. When you cut open?
Oh, you talking about long sleeves?
Yeah.
No, okra doesn't bother me. I usually don't have any problem with it.
That's odd.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
I've cut a lot of okra.
Yeah.
Boy, I look like I was a beekeeper.
Well,
going in there.
keep in mind the way I do it is, and you did too, you talk about it, is I do it with a knife. I just come over and cook them off and just drop
Well,
them.
see, I do it with diagonal cutters.
Yeah.
Which
yeah,
always
yeah,
amazed my
yeah,
dad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I said, this actually works better.
Hey, we're getting an idea for a new T-shirt in the store.
Okay.
It's you can't even have brittle.
That's good.
How about that?
I mean,
you think that'd be a good one?
I mean, hey, you can't even have, I mean, a good peanut brittle.
You know, sometimes I know
you didn't hold back. I thought you might be a little.
Well,
more
I was
kind.
shocked at how bad it was.
We were all caught off guard.
I didn't think I was going to be able to get it out of my teeth.
I didn't either.
He's like, I thought I was going to have to sign in the last second.
He asked me a
Thank
question.
goodness it finally cut loose.
He asked me a question I couldn't answer. I couldn't open my mouth.
So I watched all y'all. Y'all would go, y'all were like me, oh, it ain't that bad. And you take a bite and I'd see your face.
Hey, everybody's hearing's bad. I keep asking questions, ain't nobody answering. I mean, nobody can open their mouth here.
We'll be right back.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.
In this economy, we're officially entering a dupe session where we're looking for products that do the same thing at a better price. Our favorite dupe? Raycon wireless earbuds. With Raycon, you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for quality sound and essential smart tech listening features. Raycon also offers buy now, pay later options and an easy and free return guarantee. Right now, get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/Bubba. That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/Bubba. Once again, buyraycon.com/Bubba. Looking for peace of mind when it comes to your car's performance? Look no further than our friends at CarShield. With plans for every budget, CarShield offers protection plans that cover more parts than ever before. Whether your car has 5,000 miles or 150,000 miles, plus they offer plans that come with roadside assistance 24/7, courtesy towing, and rental car options. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 to save 20% on your plan. 800-465-6550 or go to carshield.com/Bubba.
Hi there, I'm Andrew McCollum, CEO of Philo. The best way to watch your favorite movies, shows, and live TV for just $25 a month. We'd like to invite you to experience the future of television for a fraction of the cost of cable. Unlike cable, Philo has no contracts, no hidden fees, and you won't wake up one day to find out that your bill has doubled. Just ask our existing subscribers that have never seen their monthly price go up in over 5 years. Here at Philo, we think TV should just work. But anytime you need us, day or night, you always have a real person to help you, usually in less than a minute. You might even get me answering the phone. Over 90% of the people who call us rate our support 5 stars. So sit back and enjoy our over 70 live channels, record as much as you want for a year with our unlimited DVR, and relax by thinking about all the things you could buy with the money you're saving. Signing up takes seconds, so start a 7-day free trial today at philo.com/Andrew. That's philo.com/Andrew.
For over a decade, SimpliSafe has revolutionized home security, and our latest advancement is here, 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from SimpliSafe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic. Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you can get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare. And that's MediShare. You get both. The typical family saves $500 a month switching to MediShare. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. It's because MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge PPO network, so yeah, really, you could save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. If you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number you need. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
This is Larry the Cable Guy, and you listen to my buddies Rick and Bubba. If you're not, you're a communist. Get her done.
20 minutes now past the hour. Rick and Bubba show. Thank you for being with us. Wheel of Canned Meat coming up this hour. The golden ticket seats will be helping you with that, so pay attention for that coming up. Got Bubba Rama coming up next hour. I'll be headed to the airport, going to Austin, Texas tonight, City Reach Church. Starkville, Mississippi. Y'all got Goroski Sunday night, speaking at your Man Church. Check details at themanchurch.com under upcoming events. MyPillow.com/Bubba, teaming up with the Rick and Bubba show. They got a great deal right now. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary. The limited edition MyPillow is now only $19.98, a $50 savings. Made in the USA, comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee plus a 10-year warranty. It is the best pillow you've ever slept on. So you can save big time right now by going to MyPillow.com/Bubba. Get all the show specials you'll find there, not just this one, and much more. You'll find that link at rickandbubba.com under the sponsors. But, Bubba, we're saying goodbye to interns. All of our summer interns are leaving us, and our final one graduates today, and we'll prepare for the fall. But we say goodbye to the Lord of the Jacket.
Lord of the Jacket.
Lord of the Jacket, and Lord of the Jacket, your dad's here today for your goodbye. You're a little scared.
Yeah. I'm not scared. I'm just nervous.
Are you?
Why are you nervous?